Hello and welcome to Market House, the podcast where we talk all things Disney. My name's Caleb.
And I'm Caitlin.
And this week we give you a Galactic Starcruiser update.
Lighthouse Point opening in 2024.
And share some fun things to do when it's raining at Disneyland. Let's dive in. All right, and this is episode number 74.
We're back.
We're back and recording from a new place.
Yes.
So the move has happened.
Yes.
And it happened. It was a lot.
We need to tell the people about the little hiccups that we were talking about on stories on Instagram.
Okay, yeah. So if you follow us on Instagram, I may have alluded to some problems that happened. So 90% of the move went well. We made now I know was a brilliant decision to hire a couple of movers.
Yes.
And those guys worked so hard and got us moved in about 3 hours.
They were truly amazing.
Yeah, they worked very hard and took a couple trips back and forth from our old place to the new one, and they were awesome. So happy that happened. It is worth every single penny if you guys can swing it. If you ever move, to hire a couple local movers, make sure they get good ratings online and stuff. But these guys were amazing. But anyways, the items I decided I wouldn't have them move, and I thought I was brilliant in doing this. So I've mentioned this before, but I've got a very sensitive TV, and I spent too much money on it, and it's my pride and joy. It's called an OLED. It's just kind of the technology, LG thing. So anyways, I'm not going to dive too deep into that. People are like, I don't care, dude.
They're like, get to the story.
Exactly. So I bought this thing just because we love watching movies, and I wanted something that was like color accurate and all this stuff. So the problem with it, it's very, 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 very thin, like paper thin. And so when you move it, it is susceptible to cracking and all these dumb things that can happen when you move a very thin, large TV.
Right. And the screen could bend. The pixels could get pixels, right?
Well, yeah, kind of. Like basically just the screen itself can
get messed up. Right.
So I said, I kept the original box, and I said, you know what, we're going to throw it in the original box, and Caitlin and I will move it over a different time. So my dad was over, and I asked him, hey, actually, do you mind running over to the old house with me and grabbing our TV? And he knows how sensitive it is, and even he was a little nervous to do it. He's like,
Yeah.
Usually this guy's like, I'll do anything. You want to move a grand piano in the back of a truck? Let's do it. So even he was hesitant, but he agreed. And long story short, while we were driving home, we had a large desk in the back that he was picking up for something else. We had my TV all wrapped up. We took a turn and both nearly tumbled out of the truck. The desk fell out of the truck bed and was leaning on the side, like barely holding on because of the straps.
And they're on you guys are on like a 1-lane road.
So yeah, cars are nearly hitting us because my dad had to pull over really quick and park to fix it. The TV's laying down. It crashed to the side of the truck. And in my head, I'm like, okay, there it is. It's broken. Like, I'm just accepting it. It happened. Let's move on. And I need to breathe, practice breathing exercises. Yes. So we hop out. This guy pulls over and helps us load everything back up. He was very nice. The TV's like all strapped, very janky now, and it's like moving around while we drive. And I'm just writing it off as gone. So I ignore it for a few days. It sits in the box, and we open it up, and it's fine. But
it worked.
Everything's
worked. Fine.
By a miracle,
I don't know how.
Intact.
Yeah.
But anywho, that was the move. We're done.
Yeah.
We're recording it in the new room. Hopefully it doesn't sound too different or anything, but we're excited. It's an awesome house. We've got some more room to kind of move around. And again, if you've listened for a while, you know that our old home was a little more rural, so the internet solution was not great. And now we have normal internet,
it's
very
amazing.
Fast. And so now we can have way more people on and talk to some fun folks in the Disney community, as well as go on to some other folks' podcasts. So we're excited. But anyways, enough about us. Let's go ahead and dive into that news. But before we do, I'm forgetting 2 steps. I'm all miscombobulated, whatever you want to say. Please consider leaving a review on Apple Podcast and Spotify. Giant help to the show. And you can also share this episode with a friend. So if you have a friend at home that you know loves Disney, you can share this episode with them and say, hey, you know what, bud? I've got something you want to listen to.
Yeah.
And we actually have a couple reviews to read off. We'll read one this week and then another one next week.
Yes, which by the way, as you've mentioned before, thank you so much to everyone that leaves a review. I cannot tell you enough how excited and just happy it makes us when they come through. We always do, speaking for myself, I do a happy dance almost. Caleb does not. He just laughs as I do it. But the review for this week is from Mr. Make It Magical himself, Clayton.
Mr. Clayton.
It's titled My Favorite Podcast Named After My Favorite Disneyland Coffee Shop.
There's a lot of qualifiers in there. I love it.
5 stars. So again, he mentioned this is by far my favorite podcast named after my favorite Disneyland coffee shop. Caleb and Caitlin are an absolute blast to listen to.
Oh, very
Clayton,
nice.
we appreciate you.
Yes, thank you. They have an amazing podcast themselves, Clayton and Emily, Make It Magical.
Yes.
I almost called it Mr. Make It Magical. It is just drop the Mr. It's Make It Magical podcast, and
Yes.
they do a fantastic job, and thank you so much for the kind words.
Yes, I'm surprised we didn't hear anything about Dole Whip
I know.
on the comments.
He's a big fan of Melty Dole Whip, so if you want to support a podcast, go ahead and send him a gift card for a melted Dole Whip, and he'll appreciate that. But thanks so much, Clayton. Appreciate
Yes,
the
we
love.
appreciate you so much. Thank you so much.
And finally, before we dive into the news, you can also support the show by using our Getaway Today link, which is in the episode description. You can save an additional $10 on a vacation package if you use code MARKETHOUSE10. Let's dive into the news. All right, and our first news story takes place over on the East Coast, and it's about that not so spoken about Galactic Starcruiser.
I know, it kind of just disappeared.
It disappeared, at least for us. I mean, maybe Twitter and Instagram aren't serving it up to us, but we just haven't heard a lot from the Galactic Starcruiser. If you're unaware of what this is, it is a 2-night experience over in Disney World, and it's a very highly themed Star Wars experience.
Very expensive one, too, I mean.
Very expensive. It starts at about $5,000 for 2 people for this experience, and it's basically a kind of like a living RPG. So you're living the Star Wars life. They've got paid actors on there that are acting like different aliens and characters.
And
it's
the
pretty crazy.
food, like you're experiencing the food that you would have if like you were on Tatooine or whatever it is.
Yeah, so it's pretty unreal. Again, it's impressive, but it's just a very expensive experience. But things look to be slowing down regarding booking.
Which is quite interesting to me.
Yeah, so they're going down to 2 experiences a week starting in October. So they're just, I think, eliminating 1 or 2 slots there.
Yeah, which makes sense to me because, again, I don't think it's in Disney's best interest to have a full lineup of cast members just waiting when nobody's really booking.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Again, this can be an indication of like consumers slowing down spending, right?
Right.
We may be going into a recession or a recessionary environment.
Mm-hmm.
So people may be slowing down on the old discretionary spending, or it's just they've kind of tapped out of the people that are willing to spend $5,000 plus on a 2-night vacation.
yeah, and with that said, even with the people who can afford that 2-night vacation, maybe they're just not wanting to do it again.
Yeah,
So it's like
I think it is a 1 because
one
the
and done.
story doesn't change.
Right.
So again, I don't want to judge it too hard. We have not been. One of our listeners actually has been, and he loved it.
Yes.
And so I think if you're a big Disney fan, Star Wars fan, and you can afford this, I'm sure it's a blast. But I don't know if $5,000 for 2 nights is in grasp for most people.
Right.
So again, we'll see what happens. Again, this could totally be a fluke thing, and it could pick back up. But as of now, bookings have slowed down at the Galactic Starcruiser.
All right, we have some super exciting news regarding Disney Cruise Line. Lighthouse Point is going to be opening in the summer of 2024.
Yes. So this is exciting. So this is the second private island coming for Disney. The first one's Castaway Cay.
Yes.
And it's one of our favorite spots to go ever.
Yeah, so like this new location has a lot to live up to.
Yeah. So they did release some concept art, and it looks interesting. I think most of it looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a water park, it looks like, in one section. They've got a giant beach where you can kind of sit and relax, a kind of typical beach vacation.
Right.
And then the food area looks odd. It's a giant peacock-inspired archway.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of it so far.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I remember Caleb and I having a conversation about it. It almost looks like Coco. Is it Coco Cay?
I think
Coco
they
Cay?
call it Coco Cay to rhyme. It's pronounced Coco Cay properly.
Okay.
But
And
that's
Royal
Caribbean.
Caribbean's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of looks like that. It's very eccentric, bold colors.
Yeah.
And it's
And
interesting.
it looks like Castaway Cay and Coco Cay had a baby almost. So Coco Cay, I keep saying Cay because you have to.
Yeah.
Coco Cay has a full-on water park. It's paid. You have to pay extra. And it just looks more... So I think they're going for the more lax vibe, like Castaway Cay, but also sprinkling in some thrill and stuff there. So I think they're trying to compete directly with Royal Caribbean.
Right. Which, again, I'm excited to see what it looks like. Again, I had no idea that it was coming this soon. For some reason, I thought it was way far out, like 2025, 2026.
But yeah, it's finishing up next summer.
That's so awesome.
So definitely booking a cruise to check this new island out. All right, and our last news story takes place over at Disney Corporate in Burbank, California. And it looks like Bruce Vaughn is returning as Chief Creative Officer to co-lead Walt Disney Imagineering with Barbara Bouza.
Wow.
I believe that's how you pronounce her name. It's Bouza, not entirely sure. But she's the president of the Storied Division. So Bruce was with Walt Disney Imagineering back in 2016 timeframe. He left in 2016 to become CEO and COO CCO, Chief Commercial Officer. Let's get his title right. It's a big deal. Of Los Angeles-based VR firm Dreamscape Immersive. And then he also worked with Airbnb, where he developed and led the experiential creative product team.
Wow.
So this guy's impressive.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He's coming back to Disney. He said he kind of felt like he never left. He was always an Imagineer. And so, again, it seems like some good talent's coming back. Again, it doesn't line up with Chapek's takeover of Disney. I don't think he left for any kind of those reasons. But I wonder if Iger's taking out the old Rolodex and calling some big guns, people he liked working with, and see if he can win them back.
Yeah.
And bring their talents to Disney.
I mean, it's a great start. So
yeah. So let's
awesome.
see if we can get some other, like maybe a guy named Tom Staggs back in there. He was, I think, the natural successor to Bob Iger, and when the board didn't agree, he left and did something else.
Yeah, I'm talking more like maybe Rhodey coming back.
Oh, Mr. Joe Rhodey.
Oh,
He's
I
brilliant, brilliant man. I wish. I don't know if he will. But he's very active on Twitter. He answers everyone's questions about Animal Kingdom and all that stuff on there. Yeah.
He is truly amazing.
Yeah, he's a very, very cool guy.
Like his mind, just looking at Animal Kingdom alone, like in Pandora, like that was him.
Brilliant.
And again, I know there's other cast members involved in Imagineers, but I'm like, that is just crazy that someone can think of all that in their mind.
Truly. I know. Mine doesn't work that way, so I just respect all those artistic people. So awesome. Bruce Vaughn returning to Disney. All right, before we dive into our main segment, we want to chat about the recent trivia episode we did. So if you did not listen to last week's episode, we did Disney trivia. So a lot of our followers on Instagram and listeners of the podcast sent in some very challenging questions. And again, we had a whole point system. I won't explain it again. Go back and take part if you want to test your Disney knowledge. Can I say that word right? Knowledge.
Yes.
I clearly did not get a high score because I can't even say the word. But no, we have some winners. So we had some of you send in some of your scores, but we have someone that pretty much went far and above what you could do with this. I mean, it's pretty close to perfect.
It was crazy when I found out the score. I was like, whoa.
So Jordan and Daniel from Disneyland Forever scored 180 out of 200.
That's amazing.
That's pretty impressive. We got, mind you,
I got 50.
I got 40. And again, I was out of 100 because
gosh.
I couldn't do Caitlin's things too. But again, that is insane.
Yeah, we had a couple people get, was it 170?
160, 170. So very close. Some people are really good at this.
Yes, some people are amazing. And again, we wanted to say the biggest thank you to everyone that submitted questions to us, who played along, who gave your hilarious feedback. And
yeah, there was some serious controversy around the princess question. So someone sent in a question about basically name the Disney princesses. Okay, and she sent along a list, and they made sense to me when we read the list off. I was like, oh, okay, I missed the question. I missed a few of them. And we had some people write in and said, no, that is not the official Disney princess list. And there was some banter, and so one person had a list, another person had a different list. And so Disney clearly listens to our podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Because no, they don't. But days later, they released for what was it? Women's History Month.
Yes.
They released a princess list, like the official princess list on their Instagram. And so we shared it on Instagram, and everyone was kind of having fun with it. But we're really surprised that some princesses didn't make it. Like Anna and Elsa don't make it. And
Mariah?
And
Raya's on there, right?
Raya is on there.
Yeah, but it's just weird though, because I'm just the way that they pick and choose. It's odd because, like Caleb mentioned, some people were like, "This person should be on here." Well, no, I agree with Disney's list. Well, no, I agree with your guys' list. It was just weird.
Yeah.
So,
and Danny Fandoms on Instagram did write in, and he says that there's a reason behind this. Basically, the Disney official princess is a marketing tactic by Disney, and basically that's how they control the popularity of a Disney princess. So Anna and Elsa are treated as an entirely different thing because Frozen was its own empire, right? It did not need any help getting hype or popularity with toys and stuff, right?
Right.
So apparently they'll add people on the list if they need maybe a bump.
that's so weird to me. Why don't I just include all of them?
I don't know.
We had one listener say that Vanellope should be added from Wreck-It Ralph.
For sure, I love
and
Vanellope.
I love that.
I love Wreck-It Ralph.
Yes.
So I'm all for it. Let's start a petition. Everyone should sign it.
Yes.
Vanellope's getting added to the Disney
Yes.
official princess list. So anyways, thanks so much for participating. Congrats, Jordan and Daniel over at Disneyland Forever for winning.
And
I don't know what you win. A high five? An attaboy?
The trivia masters over there.
Seriously.
They're amazing. And I had one story I wanted to share. One of our listeners sent us a message letting us know that her and her kiddos listened to the podcast and did trivia on the way. I think it was on the way
on the way and from school.
That literally like melted my heart, like just to hear that they were, and like they love doing it. She was mentioning, and just like little stories like that. Like I just can't thank you all enough for just being a part of like the Market House family, because that just made us so happy hearing something like that.
Yeah, it's cool.
And so many of you take the time just to talk to us every day, and we've made so many friends through here. So a big thank you for that. And again, thank you so much for doing trivia with us. We look forward to doing it again.
Yes, agreed. All right, let's dive in. All right, and that brings us to our main segment of this week's episode, and that is fun things to do when it's raining at Disneyland.
This is an amazing topic because for those who don't know and don't live in California, California has been very rainy recently.
It's been terrible. I have always told Caitlin, so I grew up here most of my life in the Sacramento area, and Caitlin's been here since she was born.
Since I was born, yeah.
So she's been here. I've moved around the country a little bit, but most of my time on this earth has been in Sacramento. So this is all I know. So growing up, I always told my mom, I'm going to move to a cooler place where it's not as hot and it's going to rain a lot. And I was fixated on Seattle or Portland growing up. Like, I'm just going to move out there and make it happen. I'm not made for it, man. Like, we've had so much rain this year, and it's probably not even a lot compared to the Pacific Northwest, but I can't do it.
No, we sound
It's
like
been
babies
so
too.
stormy.
Yeah, and windy.
We were kept up the other night. We barely got sleep because just wind was so loud. It was howling and smacking the windows,
Was
the
it
rain.
like 50-mile-per-hour gusts or something?
And that's a lot for us. Again, we may sound like babies because people like in the Midwest are like, that's every day.
Yeah, but for people who don't get it often, like, it's just, yeah, I feel like we're not built like that over here.
We're not. We're babies when it comes to weather. So anyways, it's been raining a lot, but when in normal years, I would argue, it is not normal for it to rain a ton, especially in SoCal. SoCal is dry as a bone.
Yeah.
So again, when it rains on your trip, it's not ruined. Don't think it's ruined. There's a lot of fun things to do when you're down there, and Disney is a blast.
It's still magical, and we've had some of our best memories on rainy days there.
For real.
Again, it all depends on your attitude. I know it does damper the mood sometimes, but we have a list of just some fun ideas and things that you can do with you and your family, and just
to escape the rain.
Yep, exactly.
All right, let's go through it. So first suggestion would be to watch a show. So Disney's known for like entertainment, right? So take advantage of this entertainment while at the park. So some of these things are something you may not even think of normally to do during a sunny day at Disney. So it's just a different thing to experience, right? So some examples are Lion King over at the Fantasyland Theater. I'm not sure how long that's going to be there.
Yeah, I'm not
But it's there
entirely
now.
sure. Yeah.
You've got the Golden Horseshoe piano player in the Golden Horseshoe in Frontierland. A blast to watch.
And go get some chicken nuggets.
Yeah, they got and mozzarella sticks.
Yes, you have a ton of good items.
Delish, a lot of good fried comfort food. You've got the Animation Academy. So this is one of the best buildings in California Adventure. I always go to say Disney's California Adventure.
Same.
Its full proper name. And this is an amazing room to sit in. So they've got giant screens showing scenes from famous Disney animated movies.
and yeah, we love it. And again, there's Turtle Talk with Crush in there, which by the
Love
way,
that show.
it was so good. I heard someone go, "That's a kid show." No. It is so funny.
So my entire family's all grown now. My
Yeah.
youngest brother's like 19, 20 years old. We were all cracking up.
It's such a good one, and it's for the little ones as well. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Not to mention, they do have the Art of Animation where you can draw characters with different cast members.
I think it's called something else.
Is it?
Is it called Art of Animation?
I think it's Art of Animation. I
Maybe
could
you're
be
right.
wrong.
My mind goes straight to Disney World. So
Same. It's something where it's animation, obviously,
Yeah.
where you're drawing. But I love to do that. And then there's different little walking areas. You can meet Anna and Elsa in there. And then there's the Beast Library. And
yeah. And there's the, it's called not Ariel's Grotto. What's it called?
I don't know.
There's a section down there where it basically shows you how to animate certain things. It's
Yeah,
very cool.
it's
I'm
like
totally
Sorcerer or something.
Yes, I'm totally blanking on the name, but it's kind of hidden. It's downstairs, so you have to like look straight ahead, and there's a little ramp that takes you down there. Go down there and check it out. It's very
awesome.
fun. Finally, you've got great moments with Mr. Lincoln. This is a great nap spot. Caitlin likes to nap in
It's
this
a
room.
snooze fest, that one, for me.
That's rude.
I know.
It's
It's very air conditioned in there, though.
Yes, so hot rain. It's good
Exactly.
for. Mickey's PhilharMagic, which is over in California Adventure in Hollywoodland. And coming soon, you've got Rogers the Musical at the Hyperion Theater.
Yes.
So if it rains on a summer night, which is very rare, but if it happens to rain this summer, since it's only going to be a limited time, you can go catch Rogers the Musical.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. The next thing you can do is go shopping.
Yes.
This might be Caitlin's favorite option
Oh
out of
my
all of them.
goodness, guys, come on. You can hit up Main Street. You can go to downtown Disney. There are so many shops throughout the park that you can just sit, walk through, grab an ice cream cone, grab some snacks, just walk through,
Just
relax.
what I want on a rainy day is an ice cream
You know
cone.
what? Sometimes it's good to have it.
Okay.
Pick up some chocolate caramels, get some, what are those called? Are they Nettles?
Nuddles?
Pick up some just some snacks. Browse through the merch. Look through the what's it called? I almost want to call it the Galactic Starcruiser. It's the Star Trader. That one.
That's one of my
That's a great
favorites
shop.
growing up as a child. You've got Julia's Cats and Sons. That's the giant store on Buena Vista Street
Right.
in California Adventure. One of our favorites. Pooh Corner,
Of course.
the best store in Disneyland. And of course, World of Disney. So a little tip here while we're talking shopping. If there's something in the parks that you had your eye on and you really want and it's not in your size, or you found it once and it sold out, I would go to World of Disney. They have by far the most inventory.
Yes,
And
definitely.
it used to be, back in the day, they would split. So park-only stuff would only be in the parks, right? So they would almost encourage you, if you want this certain shirt, you have to go to Disneyland or DCA. But World of Disney has been carrying everything recently. So they've got everything you can find at the parks.
It's awesome.
Yes, giant store, one of the biggest in the country. Amazing. Finally, not finally, just the next thing. You can brave the rain and ride some attractions.
Yes, and I do want to say one thing here. We have some friends that always go on Incredicoaster when it's raining.
Ow.
I definitely do not recommend, but it is a good time.
It feels like,
You're getting dodged with rain the whole time.
yeah, like airsoft pellets hitting you in the face because
But if you want a good laugh, it's a good thing to do.
it is fun. It just stings the face.
Yes.
So again, this is a fantastic time to ride attractions while everyone is running away and going to the hotels and shops and eating and stuff. You can just go ahead and say, you know what? I'm going to get wet. It's not the most pleasant feeling in the world, but I'll be able to ride rides without waiting too long.
Especially Fantasyland, because usually the families clear out when it starts raining really bad. So that's definitely an area that
Good
you
point.
should.
Good point. There are some rides that usually close when it rains. Just be aware of this. A couple that come to mind are Astro Orbiter, the Golden Zephyr, and Silly Symphony Swings. Anything that spins and is outside, it's a big, pretty much lightning rod, apparently, is what they kind of consider it. So they don't want you on there for a multitude of reasons. Number one, kids probably screaming, going, my face hurts from
Yeah.
rain. And also, I think it is actually dangerous if there's lightning in the air.
Does Big Thunder close? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Because I'm like, why does the Incredicoaster stay open?
I don't know.
That's
I think
weird.
if it's stormy enough, I
Right,
think
right,
they'll close
right.
it.
Yeah.
But if it's just rainy, normal rain, I think it all stays open.
Splash used to be amazing to do in the rain. We've done that.
Yeah, because you're wet already. Might
So
as well
fun.
get more wet.
Yeah, because then you don't care.
That is smart. But again, some of the rides I recommend hitting because, again, everyone's running away. Indiana Jones, Rise of the Resistance, Radiator Springs Racers, Peter Pan. Think the big e-ticket attractions. Go hit those up. And then finally, you can always go back to the hotel to change later. So if you can brave it, stay in, ride some attractions. It just makes sense.
Yep. And then use a hairdryer to dry
Yes.
your shoes off.
Caitlin sat there for about 45 minutes and dried her shoes like an angel.
Yeah.
When it was pouring down rain, we stood out there waiting. Actually, we were waiting for Aladdin because everyone and their mother wanted to go watch Aladdin when it was pouring down rain. And we stood there and rain was coming sideways because it was so windy and our shoes were soaked.
That's what happens when you're in a group. You just got to go, okay.
I know. The rest of the group, we were wanting to dip and get out of there, but the rest of the group were like, oh, we'd like to wait.
Yeah. We're
Okay,
like,
we'll wait. Another suggestion, you can go resort hopping. So bad weather is the perfect excuse to go check out the Disneyland resorts.
This is one of our favorite things to do.
Yeah, if you haven't stayed there too, you can kind of experience it without paying the money.
Yeah.
So you can go sit next to the giant fire in the Grand Californian Hotel lobby. This is totally free to do, and it is a blast. You can listen to the piano player while you're just sitting there. You can order a flatbread and a glass of wine.
Yeah, you can get coffee in there usually. And if it's during holiday times, they do have that little holiday booth set up where there's like cookies and Rice Krispie treats.
Hot chocolate.
So it's a really great atmosphere. It's really relaxing and it's warm, which is nice.
Keyword warm.
Warm.
And I've taken naps in that room.
Oh, yeah.
So they've got these big rocking chairs right in front of that fire. You can just kind of sit there and hang out. And they've got merch in there. They've got a nice store. So the Grand Californian is a awesome spot to go escape the rain. You can also go see different Disneyland hotel towers.
Yes, which is very awesome because
Yes.
they're all themed differently.
All themed differently, all decorated differently. It's so fun to see the differences. They've got a Fantasyland tower, Frontierland, and Adventureland tower.
Yeah.
Soon, they'll have a DVC tower.
Yes, and you can go to Trader Sam's as well. You can go hang out in there.
You can.
Or is it Tangaroa Terrace?
Tangaroa Terrace
That's
is
also
the
a good option.
restaurant side, and it's delish and a great place to grab a bite to eat.
Yes.
There's the Paradise Pier Hotel as well, soon to be the Pixar Place Hotel. That one's probably not worth the walk. That one's outside of property, pretty well far off.
Yeah.
And it's not really worth sightseeing. The theming's really old. It's honestly half of it's under construction right now, so you can't even see the main lobby.
Yeah.
Check-ins happening in a conference center.
Yeah, maybe once the hotel reopens.
Yeah, probably worth the look.
Then
but
definitely.
as of now, not
Right,
worth it.
exactly.
And then our final suggestion is you can always eat a meal.
Yes.
So you can ride out the storm by eating some delicious Disney food. You can grab some warm beignets and enjoy them on the Disneyland Railroad.
Okay, that's a great idea.
Right?
A wonderful idea. Yes.
Eat a churro under an umbrella. Some delicious nachos at Lamplight Lounge.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so good right now.
You can grab drinks at Trader Sam's, like Caitlin mentioned. And again, possibly the best option of them all, you can go and grab the Jolly Holiday Special. If you don't know what this is a gooey, warm grilled cheese sandwich with tomato bisque on the side. It is so good, especially on a cold, rainy day. It's the perfect meal.
It's absolutely amazing. And there's one thing I did want to mention as far as sitting somewhere that has kind of like a cover from the rain. The Pizza Planet location, even though it's very chaotic inside, there's a lot of indoor seating over there, as well as the Galactic Grill. It's all covered for the most part.
Oh, that's a good point.
So there is seating under there. So definitely look out for that area because, again, the Jolly Holiday seating is outside. There are umbrellas, but if it's a downpour and there's wind, you're probably going to get wet.
Yeah, so it's probably worth grabbing. Yeah, you're right. I mean, again, it's the perfect meal, but you are going to get wet. It's maybe worth getting a little wet. Or you can always kind of grab it and maybe just stand up in the shops next door.
Yeah, and there's also Red Rose Tavern as well with indoor seating
Oh.
that people can go to for some flatbreads, some burgers, the whole thing. So
Great point. But again, in normal times, not in recent crazy California storm times, it doesn't rain very long in California. So if it starts to rain, it maybe rains for like 45 minutes, an hour, and then it's gone, right?
yeah, I would say so. I mean, not obviously like you said right now.
Not right now. It rained all day today, so
Yes.
this is definitely not the norm. But again, especially SoCal rarely has long bouts of rain. So don't feel sad if it starts to rain on your trip. It's a great time to do things you normally would not do. Again, to take advantage of the lower wait times and ride some of those big attractions.
Yeah, and don't be afraid, honestly, to put a poncho on. Some people look, oh, those look so silly. We do use them all the time when it's raining. Just put it on. It makes everything so much easier because you don't have to worry about your clothes getting all wet.
Yeah, and who cares if you look a little silly?
No.
Like, I don't care.
It's so much nicer, and it makes for the best pictures.
Yes.
So
A lot of silly pictures happening.
yeah,
But again, like we mentioned, it doesn't rain a lot. And if it's going to rain, it's just another opportunity to make some unique memories.
Right.
We look at the time it rains on our trips and we look back on it fondly. I mean,
Yes.
it just happened.
Exactly.
And a lot of fun stuff happened afterwards. And yeah, It's a good time. Disneyland, it's hard to have a bad time at Disneyland, and raining is not one of those things that's a make or break part of the trip.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, that's it. That's all we have for you. Thank you so much for listening. You can find us over on Instagram at Market House Podcast and Twitter at Market House Pod. Make sure to follow us over there for pictures from the park and exciting news and announcements. Again, consider leaving a review on Apple Podcast and Spotify. Huge help to the show. Again, a rating is when you just click those 5 stars.
Yes.
And it takes 5 seconds. And then if you want to take the extra step and take a couple of minutes to write a written review, that is always welcome as well.
Yes, we really appreciate that.
Again, remember to use our Getaway Today link for your future trip bookings. Check out the episode details for that link. And join us next week for another episode. This has been Market House.
Bye.